Hi guys, this is Dormouse03. Welcome to my Dishonored 2 walkthrough for the achievements and trophies, Shadow, Clean Hands, Flesh, and Steel. And this is going to be Mission 3, The Good Doctor. So, like so many of these levels, this one, there are lots of different ways to kind of get through these areas, and no way is wrong unless you get spotted or have to kill someone. And so that's kind of the rule here, is that, you might have a different path for getting through these things, and as long as it works, that's totally fine. I am just showing you guys the path that I thought was the easiest. Now, you can go through the front door there. There are a couple of guys in there that can kind of see you sometimes, but if you are careful, you can just head through the front door and you are fine. However, I'm going to show you the kind of back way in to this place. Unfortunately, you can't open any of those shutters. That would be really nice. But we're going to go along the cliff face down here and head in through this open window back here. And this is kind of the back area of the kitchen. There are also, as a bonus, some things to pick up. There's a pouch of money and a couple of healing items if you need them. And these kitchen people don't really get alerted unless you make yourself known as like a hostile party. So you saw that she kind of looked at me for a second. I did immediately get into cover. Sometimes they'll get alerted though if they're worried that you're going to do something bad, or if you start stealing stuff and whatnot. So you just want to be careful with those NPCs. Gonna head through the door here. I believe I hit the thing to close the door. If not, I should have. And now there's a guy who's patrolling there. You can come and get underneath this table. I think you have to, go in through the side. But you may not even need to do that. So, just to be safe. I don't know, I liked the hiding under tables mechanic. I thought that was kind of nifty. So we're going to go through there. We're going to make sure to shut the door, because if you leave doors open, the NPCs get confused and they start changing their patterns. And so I do kind of like that, because it's like you can't just leave a bunch of evidence that you've been somewhere. So we're going to make sure that that guard had his back turned. We're going to get up on this bookcase and we're going to climb up onto the railing and jump over to, or it's not really a railing, it was the wall, and then jump up onto the pipe, and we're going to get up onto this level. And so you want to take the whale oil out to be able to go through that wall of light. You see that there are a couple people down there talking. Don't worry about them. And before we take out the whale oil, we're going to come over here and grab a couple of goodies, one of which is extremely important. It is the blueprint for the combat sleep dart. And so we're going to come over here. On this piece of paper is the code to the safe. And so that's going to be random. This safe is open and it's just got a couple of coins and things in there. But the code was for this safe right here. And like I said, like all the safes in this game, the codes are randomly generated. And so there are different spots that you can find what the codes are. And so here is our combat sleep dart. We also get a silver ingot and some copper wire for our trouble, for a little bit more money. And I was looking to see if there was any more loot in some of these desks, but I didn't find anything. It's possible that there's something, but I wasn't looking too hard because we don't really need very much money. Because really the only thing that I'm buying from here on out is that combat sleep dart that we just found the blueprint for. So don't need a ton of coins. And so now that we've picked that up, that's pretty important, because it really does help you be able to get through a couple of sections. And so we're going to pop the whale oil out. And we're going to look and make sure nobody freaked out. Sometimes they will. That guy had his back turned. We're going to pick up that painting for a couple more 100 coins. And then we look real quickly at that. And then we're going to move over to the left of this elevator as soon as we activate it, because we don't want any of the guys to see us. Now this is kind of random. That guy got alerted because he saw that the wall of light was down. And so you just want to be careful. You saw that he went, his little lightning bolt above his head was white with a red outline. That is okay. That just means that they're suspicious. It does not mean that they have seen you. And so you just want to make note of that. So we came up to the 4th floor, and we're going to wait for the 2 guys that are talking over here to move on to where they're going to be going. And they have a little conversation, and then we're going to be able to get them. So now, sometimes random stuff happens. So this is why you need to make some saves and reload them if you get a weird little thing that happens with some of these guards. Because I've had it happen where when I pressed the elevator to make the elevator come down, there was like a guard in it. And so that's why I went around and hid behind the elevator, is that in case that happens, you won't be spotted by the guy who's coming down the elevator. So, I don't know. Sometimes randomness just happens. You have to be prepared for something like that to mess up your day, and that's why we save. So we knocked out that guy. We put him down in the room over here. We picked up the key from the desk, and then we're going to close the door and move forward. And so we can come downstairs here to level 3. I think I went ahead and pushed for the elevator to come down so that it would be there when I'm coming back out of here, because you're sort of in a hurry when you're coming back out of this area, because you've got an enemy that's chasing you. So there's, again, some bloatfly nests in this area. You can toss that into the one right there. And I believe there's a rune or a bone charm that you can pick up from where that nest was. And that I forgot to pick up. But there's one there if you want to have that. I think I failed. I failed at getting all of those bloatflies. But like I said before, it is okay to kill them. And so you can kill them with your incendiary bolts. You can kill them with the flammable liquid. You can kill them with your sword. It does not matter. These things, just kill them. They're a nuisance and they just need to die. They do not count as kills, like I said on the last level. So you don't have to worry about that. And if you want to be sure that they didn't count as kills for you, like I said, load up your stats page and make sure that it still says 0 kills. But they definitely should not count. So we're going to go through the door here. We're going to leave that door open because we're going to need to be getting out of here quickly. And we're going to come through here. We're going to go ahead and break that window. We want to do that now so that we don't have to break it later. There's a painting to pick up. There's some stuff to pick up, and you want to make sure that you play that audio graph so that you can find out the information about Sokolov. And that is one of your mission objectives right there. And then don't look into that room. Just keep looking forward. Because if you look into the room, you're going to trigger the, I guess, boss of this level. You want to come over here and talk to Vasco. And then you get a little bit of a cutscene where you talk to him. And he's going to give you the code to a safe that we're going to need to get into on a different floor. If you mess around and he's already died by the time you get to him, there's also, if you see on his right hip, he has a little scroll. The code for the safe will be on that scroll. So if for whatever reason he's dead when you get to him, he shouldn't be if you go straight to him. But if for whatever reason he is dead when you get there, you can pick up the scroll from his body. But he's going to give you that code and tell you about how to save Dr. Hypatia, who is the good doctor in the title of this level. And then you find out that she's got a little bit of a problem. And so we need to get an antidote for her. But she goes back through that window. You want to immediately crouch and kind of get out of this area. Once you hit about right here, your character should say, she's gone, where did she go? That's what you want to happen. You don't want her to be lingering around in that area because she can sense you. That's what should happen at that point. And then you just want to sneak back up these stairs and head straight through the door. Don't look to see where she's at. Don't try to find her. Just run, or not run, but walk as fast as you can while you're crouched, straight through the door and back through this area. And I didn't run or anything through here just to be safe until I made it out. And so there are some guards down there. Sometimes there's only one. And if there's only one, you can probably knock him out. But since there's two, we're just going to be taking the elevator down to level 2. And then these guards in here, their paths can be a little bit funky. But basically, you want to make sure that they're not looking at you. So that guy's walking away. And then we can come through here and make sure you shut the door. And then we're going to hide behind this little desk right here. You saw that she could see us a little bit. But if you back yourself up all the way into the corner, she probably can't see you. You want to be careful peeking out because sometimes they can see you peeking out as well. So you just want to be cautious about that and kind of, I sort of peeked in and out of cover. And then when they both start walking, you're going to kind of follow along behind them and take them out one at a time. She's going to head into this room here with a prisoner. And now you do not have to worry about him seeing you because he's a little bit insane and he's not paying any attention to what is happening. So we're going to knock her out. We're going to make sure that that guy doesn't see us. Shutting the door is probably a good idea. And when he starts to walk back around, we're going to get out of here and go around behind to take him out. And you don't necessarily have to kill these people, but it's helpful. Or not kill them. We're not killing anybody. You don't have to necessarily knock these two guards out. You can go through the bloatfly room if you want to. However, it's riskier. Sometimes they hear you, sometimes they see you going through there, and you'll get eaten up by some of the bloatflies. So you just, I don't know. I like knocking them out. I think that it's easier, and you can pick up the coins from that. little room there, and you can kind of walk around in here without worrying about getting spotted. And so here's the safe that we have the code to from Vasco, and we're going to open it up to get the formula for the antidote for Dr. Hypatia. I really like the way that they've done the random safes and stuff here, so that you can't just memorize the codes and skip parts of the game. That would be kind of cool, and it would be good for the guide because I could tell you guys what they were. But as far as the replayability of the game, I think that it's cool that they're not the same every time, and you kind of have to find the codes for them and whatnot. So you pick up the antidote there, or the syringe, and then we have to go into this room and just crouch and be slow moving right here so that you don't get hurt by the flies. But you're going to click on that body to extract whatever it is that we're extracting. I think it's his blood that we're extracting from that bloatfly victim. And then we're going to insert the antidote into this little chemistry set right here. And then we're going to turn on the burner and wait for the cure to come out into the cup. It takes a few seconds. And kind of neat. I like this. This mission is cool. This game is cool. I really like this game. You know, now that we have a second for me to actually talk about it. I think that it's got a lot of replayability in terms of the two different characters having different abilities and stuff, having a slightly different story, being able to go through it on low chaos, high chaos, kill people, don't kill people, get detected, don't get detected, use different abilities and bone charms and all kinds of stuff. So I like the amount of freedom and choice and different paths and stuff that you can take. It's very, very good. So we sneak out of there. We make sure to shut all the doors behind us. We have our cure, and we're going to go back up to level 3. And this lady, she did weird things for me. Usually she is in the middle of the area. Usually she's in the middle out there, and she'll walk around back to where Vasco was. But for whatever reason, she was over there in that room with the audiograph for me. And that really messed up my day, because it's harder to get behind her when she's here, because you're sort of out in the open and she can kind of smell you and sense you, and it just I wasn't loving the location of her right here. But you don't want to hit her with a sleep dart. You need to sneak up behind her and knock her out. And when you hit the knock her out button, that will inject her with the cure. You see she got a little bit alerted. She's like, I smell children, or whatever. And got a little bit alerted, and I'm sitting here going, what is happening? This is not where she usually is. It was making me upset a little bit. But it just goes to show you that you can have a good plan, and then sometimes things just go randomly and you kind of have to adjust a little bit. Because normally she's just out in the middle. She'll walk back around the corner to where Vasco was, and you can just drop down off of the rafters up above the room and get around behind her and knock her out. But in this case, she didn't want to do that. And so I'm just being extra cautious here because I don't want to get seen. Again, this is a good cautionary tale for making lots of saves in multiple save slots, so that if something happens and it gets messed up, you can load one of those. Because I'll guarantee you, if I had loaded this save, she would have been in a different location. So Here we go. She's moving away from us. I was confident that I could get around behind her then, and you just hit RB or R1 like you would to do a non-lethal takedown, and that will automatically inject her with the cure if you have it. So, which you should if you did what we just did. So that is the Crown Killer eliminated non-lethally. And so that's cool. This also will allow you to get another achievement for talking to her on the boat. So there's a blueprint. Don't need it, but picked it up anyway. And we're gonna just head on out of here. So we are nearly home free. There is a little bit of an irritating spot here at the end of this level, but we are effectively out of the woods. So we're gonna head back down to the main floor. And whenever I'm in the elevator, I always come over to the side and kind of stay crouched behind the door frame there, because just in case there's anybody who might see you. And so we're going to walk around here. We're going to head out the back door, close the door behind us. And we're going to walk out and jump over this balcony. There will be a couple of guys talking. There should be a guy on your right and two guys talking over on your left. None of them should see you if you just head straight to the edge there and jump over the railing. And we're going to come along this cliff face. And now make a save there, because this part sucks. It sucks, people. I'm telling you right now. So this was so much easier when you could use blink. So much easier. So you want to wait for the light, which we're trying to shut down. You want to wait for the watchtower to move back over to the right, and then you want to come over here and kind of get yourself jammed up in this corner and wait for it to make another pass, because it's going to be a turd. Because if that watchtower sees you, it's not going to be good. So you want to wait for it to make another pass here. And if you aren't jammed up in the corner, it can see you when you're on the walkway. So you just have to stay in its blind spots. And when you walk back this way, if you look up at that guard and kind of walk up the stairs a little bit, that'll trigger him to start his route, or it should. The watchtower is going to come back across because it's a jerk. And I had this happen to me every single time. So if this happens differently for you guys, you let me know. And it could have just been the timing that I was on. But every time I looked up there at the guard, for the first time, it kind of started his little journey there. And then if I came over here and waited for the watchtower to move, I was able to get up around here and get around behind the guard. And so by the time you get up there, he should be turned around and walked back over to where he stands, and you should be able to go knock him out. That might take you a couple of times, guys. It took me a couple of times because, I don't know, the area just sucks. Because that watchtower has such a wide range of being able to spot you. And if you happen to not be in the right location when the guy is walking around, he might see you on the steps. It's just not a good time. But after a couple of tries, you should hopefully be able to get that without too much trouble. And then we're going to walk up here and take out these two lovely gentlemen. And so there's one guy with his back to you on the railing. There's another guy who patrols, and you just want to make sure that you get them both when the guard on the right, who's now straight across from us, is at the end of one of his patrol things. So I could have probably taken the one guy out in front of me right then, but I wanted to be safe. And also something else that's finicky that happens is you should be able to knock this guy out from across the railing, but it wouldn't let me do it. And it pissed me off because I've done it before. It let me do it before, but it wouldn't let me do it this time because it wanted to be a jerk. And so I had to use a sleep dart on this guy that's leaning up against the railing. And so that's why this took me so long, is because I was trying to get him knocked out from across the railing, but it just wouldn't give me the prompt. I reloaded it a couple of times and it just wouldn't give me the prompt. So I knocked him out with the sleep dart, and then I knocked the other guy unconscious. And then you just jump over here and take the whale oil out. Be careful with it because you don't want to drop it on the ground and have it explode and kill that guard that's down there. That would be not good. So you want to drop it out, leave it on the side over there, and then you can just kind of drop down and head to the boat to talk to Megan and end this level. So again, not too terrible. Nothing super bad on this one. I enjoyed this level a lot. And once you talk to Megan, you will be done. So you just want to make sure in your stats screen that you get your merciful and ghostly check marks, and you should also have the little side mission thing to do the counter serum, and so that should be that level done. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you in mission 4.